This episode is brought to you by Antennas Direct, makers of the toughest antennas in the universe. Hi, and welcome to the Man Cave Cinema. My name is John Zanettos, and this is episode, 26 of the Man Cave Cinema Rant. And today we're not going to be ranting much. Today we're going to be educating everybody on how to set up an antenna, or not so much how to set up an antenna, but take a look at around your environment. If you're thinking about cutting the cord and you want to put up an antenna, there's a few things to consider before you actually put up the antenna. And we're here to help you and give you that information. So first of all, you need to go as high as possible. If you live in a house, consider putting the antenna on the roof so you can get a clear line of sight over trees, over other obstructions, other buildings, other houses, or in your attic, because your attic is still high enough that it can reach over and grab those signals also, which I've done myself. I have an attic installation, which is just a little bit easier to go up there and tweak and point and what have you. The other thing is to look around. Before we go to making sure there's no obstructions. Also make sure that if you live in a condo, that you live high enough that you can capture the signals. Living on a ground floor of an apartment building or a condo or a townhome you won't be able to get the channels that you're looking for. You'll maybe be able to get anywhere between 1 to 5 channels, not the full 20 channels or 25 channels that are being broadcast out there over the air. It's just, it's more art than science. I mean, there is a lot of science related to it, but being on a ground floor, you're not going to capture those signals. So you got to go as high as possible, which is very, very important. Okay, make sure there's no obstructions. Big trees in your area, other larger homes around you, apartment buildings across the street or down the road that are blocking your view of any of the broadcast towers are going to be problematic. I mean, yes, you'll probably be able to catch 10 channels, but out of those 10 channels, 5 channels are going to be fading in and out, and you don't really want that. The reason why is the signals bounce off of buildings, off of different material and whatever, and the antenna will capture that, and then your TV's tuner has to sit there and correct for the errors. So while it's doing that, if there's too many errors, the channel will just dump out, and once it clears up, it'll come back in again. But you're going to be fighting that all the time, and it won't be worth it at all. And the station won't be unwatchable in the sense of picture quality, but it just won't be unwatchable because it'll be fading in and out. It'll just be frustrating. So again, you got to make sure there's no obstructions around, or at least there's minimal amount of obstructions, and then we can, you can kind of work with that by tweaking the antenna and doing a few things. Location. Make sure you are close to the broadcast towers. I mean, here in the Toronto area, the CN Tower, one of our biggest stupid tourist attractions or tourist trap, is one big giant antenna. So having clear view of that is number one priority. If you live in Montreal, the broadcast towers are on Mont Royal, this mountain, this old ancient volcanic mountain that's dormant, obviously, but it's just a mountain in the middle of a city, has these broadcast towers on top of it. So you have to sort of point towards that, and also kind of know where the American broadcast towers are across the border, so you can aim the antenna in between those two. Just like if let's say if you're in a city in the U.S. and you have another city just north of you or just south of you or whatever, try and point the antenna towards both cities' broadcast towers so you can get more channels, and that helps a lot. So you get more bang for your buck that way. Uh, Distance. Um, it's a no-brainer. These antennas, the antennas direct CV4 goes 65 miles plus. I'm able to catch NBC in Buffalo, which is 85 miles, but that's over Lake Ontario. There's no obstruction there. It's just, once you clear the area that I live in, after that it's just clear sailing over the lake. So you're good. You're good for that. And same thing with Montreal, because everything's on a mountain, and same thing with all the American ones are all, all, not the Appalachian Mountains. I forget what the mountain ranges are there. My geography is all bad, but anyway, they're all up a mountain, so they're all pointing downward. So you should be able to get something fairly good from a fair distance. The bigger the antenna, the farther they'll go. The smaller the antenna, you don't have to go that far. So if you live in a metropolitan area, you don't need a big giant antenna. That will just overdrive the tuner in your TV. You need something smaller, like an indoor antenna. I mean, Antennas Direct has the Eclipse, which is a great little antenna, and the bonus thing about it, it's rated at 35 miles. So now, not only will you be able to catch the urban channels, but you'll be able to catch some of the stuff outside of that. So that's a really good thing to consider. So those are the main things. So it's like, keep the antenna high, make sure there's no real obstructions. Your location, depending where you are in the city or whatever. If you're in sort of a little valley in your city, you're not going to catch much. If you're in a higher area, you'll catch more. So that's something else to consider. If if your city is flat as a pancake, don't worry, that won't be a problem. So these are these are the things that you need to consider. So here at the Man Cave Cinema, we are starting up an installation company, and we want to help people cut the cord. And it's not so much anymore, quite honestly, sticking it to the cable CEOs and to the satellite CEOs. What it is now is giving you, the consumer, a third option that is free and great. Once you get it set up, great reception, great high definition picture, tons of sub channels that carry all kinds of programming that you don't have to pay for. I mean, the advertisers are paying for it. There's no reason for you to pay for it. I mean, in cable, they're forcing you to watch commercials and to pay for it. So, people are realizing that, and they're seeing this opportunity, and they're cutting the cord. You're putting it's your prerogative now. It's your freedom to choose what you want. There's a third very viable option. So I'm just here to help people do that. I've been doing it now for 5 years. I see the benefits of it. Paying $90 a month, I'm saving $90 a month. That money's in my pocket. I can do whatever I want with it now. It's not, I have to earmark it to watching TV. And, if you don't watch that much TV, then why are you paying for cable? When you can just put up a silly antenna, catch maybe 10 channels, and that's it. I mean, if you don't watch much, at least you have something. So we're here to help. So what we're planning on doing is doing consulting fees. The consulting fees cover just what I covered here today. Is making sure where you live, the building you live in, how far away you're from the transmitters, and and seeing how high your roof is, or how high your apartment is, or your townhome, and taking all this data that I can compile together and giving you options, instead of going out and buying an antenna, putting it up, and then guessing what you can get and not get, and getting frustrated with it. I give you the information up front and tell you, yeah, you will work. Well, you'll get some channels and it's workable, or just stick with cable, because where you live, you just cannot get what you're going to want to get. We can help with that. And then once we do that and you're ready to go, we can pick up the equipment for you, set it up for a very fair fee. Then also, if you want, we can charge another fee, and this is a little bit more involved. we have a setup here at our place here called using a Tableau DVR, which is a network DVR. This little box hooks up to your wireless or wired network, and this allows you to record all your stuff off the antenna, because the antenna cable comes directly into this box, and this box sends all the information to your network. So if you have like a Roku box or an Apple TV or any of those streaming boxes hooked up to your TVs, we install the Tableau app onto your TV or onto your streaming box, and then we can send all the TV information, all the guide data, all the information there to the TV through wireless or wired, which is great because it eliminates wiring the house with antenna cable throughout your whole house. No more punching holes in the wall, dragging wire everywhere, and making a mess. With a wireless Roku or an Apple TV, you can put the TV in the box anywhere in the house. It doesn't matter because you don't need cable. You're just sending it through the Wi-Fi in your house, which makes it a lot easier. And that work is a lot more involved to get it up and running and working properly. So we would charge a little bit more for that, but again, very reasonable. And we'll set it up to where it's an end-to-end solution, and then you don't have to worry about it. Anyways, contact us, let us know. You know where we are on the web. Just contact me at john.zanettos, ZANETTOS, at themancavecinema.com, and let me know if you're interested. And that's how we do it. So anyways, those are the things to consider. This is episode 26. Everyone, have a good day.